This will be messages for all the signs. I'm going to go through one by one, all of you, and give messages that come through for the transit of Jupiter in Aries that takes place, hi Sage, May 10th, 2022 through October 28th, 2022. It then goes back into Pisces for a little bit, and then on December 20th, it returns to Aries and then continues until May 16th, 2023. But we will focus on the general energies for each of the signs for this transit. I'm going to go by rising sign. So the main focus you want to put on the rising signs, but you are welcome to listen to all of it, because then you can apply the messages that I give to each rising to how it applies to an aspect of your chart, or watch your sun sign too. I would personally also watch my moon sign, because I personally give a lot of value to people's moon signs, but that's just my approach. So yeah, let's get started. Welcome if you're new, by the way, and if you're an old-timer seeker, thank you once again for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. And if you're new, my name is Morgane, and this is the Existential Shift. Okay. So let's start with Aries. Jupiter in Aries is in your first house, right? So let's start with the simple. It can expand your ego and your place in society, right? You can be seen in public. You can be more dominant when you come into a room, all that jazz, because Jupiter is an expanding energy, and Jupiter is also a divine entity. In mythology and in archetype, it is associated with with the All-Father, with the archetype of Odin, with the archetype of Zeus, with possibly the archetype of the biblical God, right? It is the masculine aspect of divinity in a leadership position. It has the capacity to deliver miracles, to make things happen, and everything is present and existing with Jupiter. It's also wisdom and guidance and spiritual connection, and also earthly connection, because divinity is everywhere and everything. So when it's in your first house that is ruled by Aries, right? It's ruled by its sign. It just kind of emphasized the Zeus archetype of leadership and masculinity, and being very, very dominant in the world, being very seen, and being very successful. Now, there is another aspect of it that some talk about, but not everyone, because it's not a fun aspect to talk about. It enlarges things. So and the first house is also the body. Okay, so it could make you prone to gain weight. So if you're sensitive to that, or conscientious to that, you can keep that in mind. No, don't go running not eating carbs anymore. Carbs are actually really important for your brain. I'm not kidding. And many of you have tried it. I'm going to cut carbs and only eat this and that. And what do you know? You actually gained weight. If it's not working, consider trying something different. Carbs are actually very, very good for the body and for the brain. Try cutting meat, because it's very damaging and it slows down the digestive system, right? Biologically, the digestive system of the human species is not really made to consume flesh and to digest it. It slows the digestive system down. So, try something that works instead of something that doesn't work if you want. And a lot of green. Eat a lot of green, anything, really. If it's green, eat it. except for my couch. Don't eat my couch. Sorry. Because it's great for digesting. Okay, and it helps keep the system running. So put in good fuel, avoid putting in bad fuel, and work on strengthening your digestive system, and then Jupiter will focus on that and expand the energy of that. Okay, sorry, I'm doing it on my phone because once again I couldn't do live from my laptop, so we might have like the occasional interference in the form of an email or a text. We'll see. Don't worry about it though. And hello everyone who's just joined, welcome. So there's that. You okay, this is good for people who are interacting with you, not necessarily so much for you, but it could be vicariously. You bring luck into a room because Jupiter is in your first house, what you deliver to the world. What is seen the first thing when you enter a room? What do people see, right? So they see your Arian Jupiter vibe. It's just an energy of luck. You can bring luck to people. You can bring luck to situations. People might find you, like they will automatically be guided to you. They'll find that, they'll feel like they can, whatever you'll say is probably very, very truthful and very powerful, and they'll see you as a guide. They'll see you as a leader. They'll come to you for help. They'll come to you for guidance. They'll come to you for leadership. They'll come to you for decision making, because you will just have this aura of a Jupiterian aura, someone who knows what to do and takes care of business, but in a good, fun, positive way. For some of you who are quirky in nature, it might bring out the quirks in you. You might start changing up in your style into something a bit more quirky, more humoristic, more colorful, that stands out in the room. Yeah, that's pretty much. If something else comes through for you guys, I will let you know. Taurus. So Taurus, you guys, you're going to have it in your 12th house. It's your connection to the divine. And Jupiter, a divine entity, the very divine planet, that its archetype is the divine leadership, in its masculine form, is entering your house of divinity. This could be a massive, trigger of your connection with Source, from the archetype of masculine divinity, and finding leadership in the world, in your spirituality, meaning the most tangible way I can give you is you'll find that you're able to lead your own mind and your own psyche out of toxic cycles and triggers. You'll find more enlightenment and clarity when dealing with karmic situations and, again, psychological issues, because psychological triggers is what maintains and sustains karmic cycles. Okay? We repeat things because we operate in cycles. The 12th house can also be in its negative manifestation that we all suffer from, a psychological repeat of tendencies, of bad behaviors, of destructive tendencies, and that sustains and feeds the karmic cycle and the karmic loop, because you keep making the same mistakes, and that creates the same situations, and then you're not breaking out of the loop, you're not learning, you're not expanding through and out of it. So Jupiter coming into your 12th house can really tap you into this inner psyche-like guidance, subconscious guidance, where you just are more able to communicate clearly and directly with your subconscious. It's also where our past lifetimes memory is. So you'll possibly either remember events or you'll tap into the sensation, to how you felt in past events from past lifetimes that, were either traumatic or, challenging, and had escalated into karmic cycles that you repeat in this lifetime. So, and knowledge is a lot of power. By understanding your pain, by understanding your past, you'll be able to work on it and through it, right? So Jupiter will shed light onto that. It will also expand the traumatic experience, not bring trauma. This is not going to create traumatic events. It is going to bring the emotion up to the surface. 12th house is often suppressed, right? More often than not, it's the house that we're not aware of. That's why it's the house of the undoing, not because there's something bad about that house, but it's because it's the parts of us that we just don't see. So they accumulate and they fester, and that's what brings us down. It's a burden that we can't alleviate or clear out because we're not aware of it. We don't see it. If you can't see the dirt, you won't clean it. If you can't see the pain, you won't heal it, so on and so forth. So Jupiter, it's not going to always feel really great. It's going to really bring up to the surface your traumas and your pain. And it's not to hurt you or to punish you, it's to heal you. It's to help you through healing, okay? So it's actually a very, very powerful transit for you guys, for you Taurian risings out there, but also Sun. I think it's going to be both very healing and very empowering. You will find your pain, hence you will find your power, because when you find your pain, you go through it, and that's when you find your power to rise above it and possibly help others. It could really place spiritual gurus more on the front line, not because directly Jupiter makes you into a star, more so it makes you so capable and skilled with handling your own psyche and your own spiritual cycles that it by default puts you in a position to guide others through it. Okay. Also, and this is especially for the feminine Taurians out there, Jupiter, again, is a masculine divinity going into your 12th house of subconscious. It's going to bring up father issues. It's going to bring up the relationship with your father or father figures. It's going to bring to the surface and to the light certain aspects, maybe secrets. If there are any secrets between you and a father figure, it might come out. You might have like inspiration or understanding, like chip falls of like things that have happened. You'll just not, the information will come to you in a way, or you'll have an eureka moments about things like that. Also, this is a great opportunity to learn from a guru or from gurus, because your psyche is really open to it, will be very open to that energy. And any form of teachings will have a direct link to your subconscious. So you will learn it fast, you will process the information fast, and you will integrate it into your entire system faster. So it's a great time to expand spiritual teachings and learnings and finding spiritual teachers to learn from as well. Anything else for Taurus? Men Taurus out there, if you've been thinking about doing some spiritual work and expanding your knowledge and speaking, first go through the pain, the psyche, and then absolutely go for it. Okay. Geminis. Geminis, you guys have it in your 11th house. It's generally ruled by Aquarius. The 12th house is generally ruled by Pisces, so that's why I said all these things for Taurus. And now for Gemini, and by the way, if anyone wants to timestamp this later, thank you. Okay. Gemini, Jupiter in your 12th house, Jupiter in Aries. Sorry, in your 11th house, I apologize. I think it's going to be, it's going to make you highly innovative in a way that can help society somehow. If you're an inventor or a scientist or an entrepreneur, you can have really, really, really great ideas that can help the collective somehow and your environment. Please go with them. If you have a brilliant, original, super different idea, you know, Albert Einstein says, if an idea doesn't sound crazy in the beginning, it's not a good idea. So if you have something like that, write it down. Don't be like, oh, I'll think about it later, whatever. Write those down. Because it's going to be like a spark of inspiration. It's going to bring it forward. So, and you don't want it to pass. And please go with it. And I think really creative, out-of-the-box ideas will be accepted well by your environment and by society and by the collective that you're dealing with, be it on a big scale or on a small scale, depending on your life and what you do. But it's going to bring you luck and success, just expressing your ideas and inventing something. Once again, especially if it can benefit humanity somehow. Also, philanthropic work. If you have the means, it's time to do good for the world. Jupiter will ask you to do that, to expand your resources onto others. It could also be the other way around. If you are in need, you will find that the collective is coming through to help you somehow, and bring you good fortune and help, and you'll feel really, really supported by a community, by people, by spirit, more so tangible. If you're into technology, if you're into aliens, Geminis, then really read about it and expand your knowledge. And I think a lot of that is going to become very, very interesting for you. It will make a lot of you want to feel more dominant in your in the world. You want to feel seen. You want to be appreciated. You want to be recognized, acknowledged, and it could be a time where things like that can happen, where you know, things that you've done forever that seemed to like kind of been brushed under the rug, like people just didn't see it. Like if you've done a lot of charity and people didn't know, if you've been very innovative and helpful to your organization, environment, community, whatever, it went unnoticed. You did good and it wasn't noticed. Now it's going to be noticed. Like you'll keep doing the same things in the ways that you've been doing them, but now it will be put on a blast kind of thing. Like it's one of those transits where you could I don't know, help a homeless person, do something really good for someone, and not post about it, not brag about it, not say anything. You just walk on the street, you do it, and then later on you come home to find out that someone took a video about you, and the video became viral, and now you're famous for being a really, really awesome person. You know, that's the kind of thing that can happen on this transit. So yeah. Anything else coming through for Gemini risings and Gemini sun? It's Gemini energy in general. Okay, let's move on to Cancer. It's coming into your 12th house. Jupiter and Aries will be in your 12th house. Why do I keep saying 12th house? 10th house. 10th house, okay? It's generally ruled by Capricorn. So, career, imprint on the world. And the legacy. So, This is a benefactor energy, kind of similar to what Gemini had, but on a more career, money, status, like focus. It's either there's someone who's going to come into your career, you know, work life or career, or and just kind of put you on a pedestal in a way. I'm seeing you being put on a pedestal somehow, like being admired, being invested in, being very supported. It's also kind of sugar daddy energy, just so you know, regardless of job, of work. You might be someone's sugar daddy, or someone will become your sugar daddy. I don't know if you're into that. Hey, I don't do judgment here. You do you, boo. But it could benefit that energy. And it's like you wrote a novel, and then a publishing company wants to publish it, right? It's you made something that you feel is like your legacy, and now someone wants to put it out there. You know, you wrote a script, the producer wants to produce it, and so on and so forth. You can be that person. You could be you doing that for someone else. You can be that Jupiterian influence for someone else in their life, and that will benefit your career as well somehow. But it also is going to bring up strongly for Cancerians as a collective, not just on an individual level, as a collective, it brings out the paternal archetype of the Capricorn across from you, right? Jupiter enters Aries, but it's in the Capricorn house for you, for everyone, for the collective, and it means something to you because you're right across from it. You're the Cancer, you're the mother, right? And Capricorn is the father. So I think, wait, let me translate this energy for 1 second. Are you guys still here? Because I'm on my phone, but I will be reading the chat later. So say hi to me, and occasionally it comes up. So I hope you're still talking. Okay. Processing, not stuck. Hold on. Some of you, I'm picking up, might meet the love of your life. And it's specifically to Cancerian women who are into men. It can bring someone very, very special, and it's going to feel karmic, soulmate, twin flame, all that rolled up into one, a bundle, a package deal. Wouldn't that be a hoot? Wow, hold on. Men, Cancer energies, I see it coming through as a father figure. So maybe you'll be working with your dad on something. Maybe you will take on your dad's, or choose to join your father with his work, or with his company, or implement the knowledge of your dad somehow into what you do, into your legacy. And that can apply to women as well, all Cancerians. And it can also bring you two together. Like they're going to become very, very dominant in your life somehow in this transit. Some of you will become a father for the men out there. Thank you. Like you might find that you're going to become a father, so the entire paternal archetype is going to come through, and then you're going to think, okay, what do I want to teach my child? What do I want to leave for them? What do I want them to take of me? What kind of a father do I want to be? What kind of a man do I want to be for my child? Like, this is all coming up. This is all coming through. As a women, I'm picking up, okay, what kind of man do I want to father my children? What kind of an example do I want? What kind of a masculine example do I want to set for my children? It's like, it's all coming through really strongly. It's just very dominant. Guys, I can tell you all the standard things you hear everywhere that you already know about this transit, but I don't see the point. Like, there's already amazing astrologers that tell you all of that, and I don't downsize it. It's like, it's legitimate, it's true. It's just, okay, why would I repeat things if I have other energies to deliver, other messages to deliver on top, not as contradiction, right? So I'm trying to go to other places as well. Okay. By the way, guys, afterwards, after I'll finish, I will scroll through the chat and see if there's anything that I want to, acknowledge or make commentary on. So please feel free to write your chat stuff, and then I'll go over it properly and maybe have a conversation about some of the stuff you wrote. Okay, so that was for Cancer. Cool. Leo. It's going into your 9th house. It's generally ruled by Sag. Jupiter in Aries. Saggy energy in the background for Leos. A lot of fire. Okay, this is a very fiery transit for you that has to do with expansion. Very flammable. Expansion of adventure, of knowledge, of exploration, of archaeology for some, anthropology. You're okay, if you're into energy work, you can really master something like using all the energy of fire that you have at your disposal. The cardinal Aries, the mutable Sag, and the fixed Leo that is you. It's like all the aspects of fire are just coming together for you in a Jupiterian triangle, so there's flow. Wait, let me just sort through it, okay? Especially Leo moon, by the way. Yes, it's for rising and sun, but specifically Leo moon's coming through. It's an incredible opportunity to learn about magic, mysticism, the esoteric, occult, secret, like energy work, healing modalities like Reiki, Kundalini work, like tapping into spirit, or into the divine with dance, with something physical, dance, martial arts, things like that. It's such an energy that connects spirit and body and passion and sensuality, a lot of sexuality as well, is bringing up. Okay, back to generally Leo, not just moon, but also, yeah, that applies also to rising and sun. You could be becoming a teacher of very specific knowledge. You could be teaching a different culture, traveling to learn about a culture, and then delivering that knowledge. Write it down. Write it all down. You could be learning a lot of knowledge from other other systems that you're not familiar with, different types of faith, different types of school, different schools of thought, different philosophy systems. I'm picking up on poetic philosophy, you know, like Sufis, like Rumi, like Shakespeare, you know. But also stage. You're always a sign of stage, of the stage, right? But there's something just occult. That's what I'm picking up, and it's probably going to apply to Virgo too, because it's going to be coming into the 8th house. But because occult knowledge is no longer secretive, it's now becoming knowledge that is available to the collective, to the world. I feel like the 8th house is slowly becoming integrated with the 9th house in general, with its meaning. So like deep ancient secretive wisdom no longer has to be secretive, because it's not the same level of persecution that we had. Unfortunately, we're not free of persecution, but it's not at the same level of persecution. So little by little, it's kind of the energy of the 8th house kind of incorporates itself with the general energy of the 9th house and becoming more in the broad daylight, right? So someone wrote, the veil has lifted, yes. So it's kind of going to, the 8th and 9th house, I'm feeling them like kind of, in a way, integrating into one house. That's very interesting. And I have my own theory about this, so maybe I'll make a designated video about that. So Leo's, back to you. Yeah, so occults are no longer secret knowledge, it's just knowledge. Go for it. Not just, why should it matter to you though if it's secretive? What are you afraid of? What else? Anything else? Travel might become, well, everyone can tell you that. The travel can be like dominant. At this time, you might find yourself traveling, touring, working, experiencing. That's fun. It's a lot of fun. Okay, Virgo rising. Basil. Water with basil. I would also put mint, but my plant needs revival, so I'm gonna let it exist and not eat it yet. Okay. Well, that was such a Virgo thing of me to say to you, like, as we do Virgo. Okay, Virgos. Jupiter goes into Aries, into your 8th house. Very Martian energy, because the 8th house is ruled by Scorpio in general. Your 8th house, being Aries, also ruled by Mars. And then Jupiter is also a masculine divine entity. Kundalini is coming up for you as well. Sexual Kundalini energy. Root chakra, sacral chakra, do work on those, be it physical movement, energy work, frequency, sound music that, you know, that triggers the root chakra and the sacral chakra. Okay, a challenging aspect of it, just an FYI, but we'll go back to fun stuff, is that secrets can come up to the surface, because Jupiter is like, this needs to be bigger than life, not something that is holding you back or is weakening you. This needs to be a source of power for you. So especially in the 8th house, which is a house of power, it's like, okay, how can we take these secrets or these hidden challenges and transmute them into your power, into energy, into life force? How can you benefit from it energetically and physically? How can you strengthen from it? But also, how can you improve and better your life? So you're going to find yourself in a situation where you can take something that you thought was a challenge or something scary or troublesome and make something like really benefits from it somehow. Let me give you a very tangible, simple example. Let's say someone hurt you somehow. There was a sense of injustice, but now tables are going to turn in a way where you can receive justice and you can generate justice-like punishment to them, and maybe you'll sue them and you'll get compensation. Just a simple example, like transmuting pain into gain. Okay. Virgo, more for Virgo. Jupiter in Aries. It's an opportunity because you guys also have Chiron over there. Opportunity to heal sexual wounds and trauma. Again, it keeps circling back to Kundalini, but it's not just sex, it's sexuality, it's healing, it's the ancient force of sexuality that brings life and it's passion, igniting passion, and then healing aspects or awakening aspects of your life that have been dormant somehow. Because when one aspect of us is injured or asleep, it affects the entire system. It brings it down, right? So when you go straight there and heal that or expose that, it elevates your entire system. Secret money. Maybe some of you have like a secret account. You're hiding some of your finances from your spouse or something. Just to be safe. Maybe there's something that you're doing. Maybe you're investing in something, investment that can really, really grow well. Any investments that you make now can really give you a lot of profit. But please practice fast. Okay, maybe you need to act fast, but also smart investment. Make sure that you did the research that you need to do. But it's one of those things that are not seen, that you don't talk about, that you don't show to people, or just are not yet there. It's like you have, like you buy stocks and it really, really grows quietly and behind the scenes, and you just leave it there for the long game or something like that, and then it grows, but you don't have it right now, so it's not seen, but it's there. Does that make sense? Like, or this can also be secret bad dealings. So those of you who practice shadiness when it comes to taxes, finances, don't be very, very, honest with your dealings, and practice in the boundaries of the law, because Jupiter going into your 8th house is just gonna, those things will not be able to be ignored or hidden, okay? For women out there, or people who are into men, this could be meeting, everyone, men or women. This could be meeting your spouse. This could be meeting a spouse. This could be meeting your significant other, or connecting with them if you've already met them in the Jupiter going through Pisces transit, which is likely because it's your 7th house. Something about, Jupiter moving into Aries can really solidify a bond, a energetic karmic bond. It's like a new, it's making ties And karmic isn't always, doesn't have to be bad. Karmic is a result. Karmic is just cause and effect. There's a negative connotation to it because, well, humanity is doing a lot of bullshit and is dealing with the results of all of its bullshit. But generally speaking, in essence, karma is neither good or bad. It's just, it might feel, it's just a result. It's cause and effect. Anyway, yeah, some of you might actually get married, although it's such a tumultuous time energetically and planetary shifts wise. But hey, it won't be boring. Never a boring moment. Okay, great. Libra. Libra. Okay, so it's going into your 7th house. Jupiter and Aries for Libra. I know all the standards thing to say, but I'm trying to tap into energies of my Libra seekers and what can be unique for them and to other aspects. Libra, this could mean meeting people with influence and with stamina. That's weird. I'm picking up on the word stamina. Okay. So you might be meeting people with influence and stamina. Sure. Okay, cool. Let us know what that means and how it works out for you guys. Oh, a yellow butterfly. Hello. We're visited by a yellow butterfly. I'm just looking at it, taking a break for a second. Okay. All right. Oh, wow. He's really into hanging out here. Cool. I see you signing a really big contract. Something very big, very meaningful, that can affect your entire life. Like this is a life-changing type of contract, agreement, partnership. I don't think you're ready for this. I mean, you're ready for this. Of course, you're deserving of this. That's not what I mean by ready for this. I mean, like, I don't think you have any idea that it's coming. And if you have an inclination, I don't think you know just how big that is. Yeah, you could be having a one-on-one agreement with like an individual that can change your life. Like it's absolutely life-changing. So whatever it is, congratulations. Come back and share with us. This is incredible. What is it? Okay, something else. What else? What else can we tell Libra? A lot of opportunities with meeting new people and creating connections and strengthening bonds, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, okay. All right, you've seen like 1,000 videos that tell you that. Cool. Okay. It's right across from you, right? You have your Libra. You know that. Great, Morgane. You have Aries within you because all the different seemingly across from each other signs are the same signs but from a different polarity, right? Both yin and yang are aspects of God, but from its feminine or masculine archetype. Fragmentation. So Aries is a fragmentation of you. It's a part of you, not away from you, not across from you, not something completely different from you. Aries is you. And Jupiter is going into an aspect of you that you're in a constant struggle with. Do I embrace it? Do I learn from it? Do I challenge it? Do I fight it? Do I break out of it? Do I connect with it? It's this constant. And I think Jupiter is going to bring some clarity, ease, and flow to you dealing with yourself. I think especially Libras out there that have been constantly vacillating, going back and forth, having a hard time with making decisions because of, you know, different aspects within yourself that are kind of battling one another. It's going to bring some form of integration. It's going to be to kind of put its foot down. Jupiter is putting its foot down and be like, I'm a part of you. I'm here to stay. Embrace me. Okay. Cool. That's it. For now, anyway. Scorpio. Jupiter and Aries will be going into your 6th house. It's generally ruled by Virgo. Service. Magic as well. 6th house is also a house of magic. Virgo is a sign of magic. So it's not just the 8th house that is a sign of magic. It's also the 6th house. So you too can have similar things to what is said for Virgos, that, and Leo, similar, like the magic, but the tangible magic, the everyday magic. You know, when you write a love note to someone and that just, you know, creates magic between the two of you. So that's magic, writing a love note to someone. It's a magical act, a daily, you know, where you use your fingers to do it. You use your knowledge to do it. You use your intelligence and your intellect. Scorpio, you are going to be triggered a lot by this energy. I think there might be people in influential positions that will trigger you, that will annoy you somehow, that will oppose you, that will challenge you. It's in your day-to-day, it's work stuff, or just at the grocery store. I don't know why I'm being at the grocery store. Okay. A person of powerful position is going to challenge you at the grocery store. You're going to have a duel over I don't know, over toilet paper. Challenge you to a duel over this toilet paper. What? Stop. Okay, back to messages, normal messages for Scorpio. No, but seriously for a second, be prepared for that. Come prepared. Whoever challenges you, don't, here's the message. There you go. Don't take them lightly. Don't dismiss them. Don't disrespect them. Not a time to underestimate your enemies or challengers, right? It's a time to be prepared for them. It's a time to look at things from their perspective and think, what do they know, right? What do they have? And be prepared for that. Assume that they know a lot and that they are very skilled and capable. And knowing that will be a great overcoming for you, or about, you know, overcoming ego. Because when you defeat someone in their own game, and because you've seen it coming, and because you didn't disrespect them, you respected them, that will make you feel a whole lot more powerful, and that's fun, right, Scorpio? Don't tell me you don't like it, and that's okay. So if you disrespect your enemy, they will win. If you won't, great chance that you will win, and then it will really, really benefit you once Jupiter will move into Taurus in 2023, in May 2023, and then that will create huge expansion. Okay? Anything else? Anything that you do for people on a day-to-day will be really appreciated and seen, and you'll receive a lot of gratitude for. In your job, in your home, everyone you're dealing with. The little things, right? The little gestures are going to come a long way, so practice that. It will really pay off. One second. Some of you might have a familiar come into your life, like a very meaningful pet animal. There is like an ally, like a very powerful spiritual ally. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool, Scorps. Okay, Sag rising. Jupiter is going into your 5th house. Ooh, you mischievous you. Oh my God. Okay. This is going to... Wait. Let me process this for a second. First of all, you can become a creative authority of something. If you're in the creative field, if you're in the creative arts somehow, you can find yourself leading a big project, or becoming very influential in your field or whatever it is that you do. Okay? So, that's fun. When it comes to romance and dating, it's interesting. It can go in very different ways. So for those of you it can either make you go super serious and wanting to only invest in something that is really true and heartfelt and meaningful and spiritual. And I don't think you wanna... Yeah, this is where I probably am going to disagree with most astrologers, because a lot of astrologers will probably say that it's going to expand your dating life. You'll have a lot of opportunity. Maybe you'll meet several people. Maybe you'll date several people. I don't think so. Not the high frequency seekers that are drawn here. No, Saggies, I think with you, it's going to make you super intentful, super spiritual. Like you want a soulmate, you want something spiritual, you want something divine, you want to have fun, but it has to feel meaningful. You don't want empty fun. It's not a contradiction to having fun, okay? You can be intentful and meaningful and have fun, but the point is you don't want superficial, just fun type of fun, right? The very broad-minded, truth seeker, truth teller aspect of your Saggy energy is going to come through in a way that you'll want to live by it in your romance, right? In your romantic life. That's a surprise message that came through. I didn't expect that for Saggies. That's really cool though. I'm impressed. It means that you've come a really long way and that you've really tapped into your high Sagittarius archetype. And that is so great. Anything else? Yeah, so when I say you're going to feel that, I mean like the opportunity will come too. So it could be you'll be spending time with someone that you feel deeply about, like that, in that way. Okay, great. Short and sweet and positive. Anything else before I move on to Cappies? No, okay. Capricorn is going into your 4th house. Generally ruled by Cancer, but for you it's ruled by Aries. So, homeland, ancestors, past lifetimes, Jupiter going in there. You might reconnect with an ancestor, a grandparent, a great grandparent, someone who has had or has strong influence on your family, on your culture, on your legacy, on your belief system, on where you feel you belong, where you feel your soul comes from. And it doesn't have to be an ancestor, it could be an individual that is wiser. There's an ancient feel to them. I think some of you might find like a grimoire or a book or like a book of wisdom of some sort where you learn a lot about your past and your origin, and it wakens it up within you, and you connect with it, and you want to bring it forward again in your own life. Or maybe it inspires you to create your own legacy, and build a sense of culture. It could expand your household, like there could be a new member joining the family. So it can either be a child or it could be a family member visiting, staying over. It could be someone with Jupiterian influence, so it's either someone wise or older, or that has a strong effect on you, that is very meaningful to your spiritual growth, right? Okay. Anything else for Capricorns for this transit of Jupiter and Aries? It's triggering. It's triggering. Who am I? What am I? It's going to bring up a lot of philosophical questions about where you come from and what you believe in. There's a reconnecting, there's a different perspective to your past, a new sense of appreciation, of respect. So if you didn't have appreciation or respect to your origin or your past or your childhood or your homeland and so on and so forth, or your ancestry, you're suddenly finding yourself really connecting, and like you really care about these things. You're like, wait, what is happening? So that. Okay, great, thank you. Aquas, Aquarians, this is going to go through your third house. Jupiter and Aries for Aquas in their third house, Aqua seekers. Why am I picking up? I'm picking up on prayer, praying. Some of you are going to connect to your to praying. Whatever faith you have, whatever religion you belong to, if you belong to one. Some of you I'm picking up coming from the atheist world, and it's going to completely transform it. You're going to become a believer. So you even being here is new. Okay, can we have a balanced chat? Can someone moderate and make sure that no one takes over the chat too much? Guys, if all of you are encouraged and welcome to speak. We should share the space, not feel like we have to take over the space. Okay. Aquas. This is so interesting what I'm tapping into for you guys. Sorry, give me a moment, please. Something with sacred words, sacred writings. Your brain is going to go into hyper mode, but it's not going to be on the intellectual level as much. I mean, also, but it's going to connect to your will, to your sacral chakra is coming up so much. The sacral and the solar plexus now too. To knowledge that you're just carrying. Okay, there it is. So Aquarians, a lot of you have so much knowledge that you're carrying. And because you're thinking about everything all the time, and the world is so full of interesting things to learn about and to think about, then you don't always cognitively, consciously tap into all the knowledge that you already have, which is huge. You're like a walking cosmic library. And I think Jupiter going into Aries is going to it's going to be like a key that opens up the door to the library, right? And you're like, oh, do I know all that? Yes, you know all that. Some of you forgot. Some of you stopped caring. Some of you trauma. I'm picking up for some of you trauma has closed those doors. Like the brain really needed as much energy as possible to process trauma, to deal with trauma, to work through trauma. And so those doors were left locked for a while, and now you have newfound access to your own knowledge and information. It's going to be mind-blowing. I don't care if your crush loves you back. If you don't know, then they don't. I'm not trying to be mean, I'm trying to wake you up. I know it comes across as mean. But if anyone coming into a chat about spiritual energies for all the signs and it completely ignores like who we're talking about, what's the essence of this video, you're coming into my home where I'm giving guidance to people and you're constantly, does my crush, I don't care. You don't care. If they love you, they're going to tell you. If they can't tell you that they love you, you don't want that kind of love. You want a love that screams it at you. I love you so much. Not in a way that is, obsessive compulsive, but you know what I mean. Find a crush that writes you love songs. That makes sure that you know that they love you. Not someone that you have to go into videos and ask if they love you. That sucks. Instead, go read a book about something smart. Aquas. So yeah. Is there anything else? For Aquas, Jupiter going into Aries? If I've made anyone cry with that rant, let it out. Let it out. Yeah, I just reminded you of what you're worthy of. Nothing less. Okay, Pisces. Going into your second house. Jupiter and Aries for Pisces seekers. Finances, manifestation, Taurian stuff, luxury. Ooh. Okay, Pisces. You're going to find yourself in a luxurious environment. Some of you are going to find yourself like in royal like scenarios. Could be actual royalty somehow. Maybe you're visiting a place that has that. I don't know why I'm picking up like luxury and royalty, but like in a very profound way. Some of you out there, and that's very specific, are going to find out that you're royalty, maybe from ancestry line or an inheritance of some sort, like someone leaves you a castle. I know it sounds like a movie, but maybe you're buying land in Scotland and you're becoming a lord or a lordess. That's cool. That's totally something I want to do. Totally something I want to do. Like, I don't know, there's something with royalty and wait. Okay, this is like, I feel like Indiana Jones. I'm picking up like a treasure, not a treasure hunt. Like you're finding treasure or you're being given a treasure. Like Jupiter coming into your second house, it's almost like, it's like, Alibaba finding a mysterious door, saying open sesame, and it opens and there's a treasure there. It's like Aladdin, you know, finding a cave full of treasures. It's like a genie vibe, but it's not the genie that gives it to you, it's you. You find it somehow. You are the genie. And you're not giving it away, it's yours, and you keep it. Like, I'm a genie, I'm gonna fulfill my own wishes. Like, okay, Pisces, something very whimsical and mystical. I think you're going to experience, you're going to be gifted with either property or finances or resources or a title of some sort. Okay, or you're going to discover that you're in your bloodline, in your ancestral line, there is a title. You come with a title. And I don't think it's just like something theoretical and amorphic. I think it's something that actually gives you some sort of right, some tangible right. You might find out that you're eligible for citizenship in a foreign country and you didn't even know because of something that happened to your ancestors or belonged to them or something, you know. I'm picking up reformations, like maybe compensation for an injustice that took place in the past. Okay, that's great. If you've been denied of inheritance, this is the time you're gonna get it. Same applies to Virgo risings. Okay, very cool. All right. Okay. We're not going to do Ophiuchus because Ophiuchus is the 13th sign, and just go by your regular chart of rising because I can't go about it by the house system. Okay. Most times I do Ophiuchus, but sometimes I just don't, and that's okay. Okay, anything else maybe for the collective of seekers, Jupiter in Aries? Time to tap into being active in society and in the collective, and in improving it and in honoring it and in living as a part of it as opposed to a bystander. Okay, Aries is a cardinal fire. It's the spark of life, and when it goes into the sign of Aries, and it applies for the collective. So when it comes to you being an aspect of the collective, so it will apply to all of you in the same way that, okay, let's all be a part of this and not bystanders, and not, especially in the spiritual community that has a lot of tendency for spiritual bypass. I don't watch the news, I don't know what's going on, I don't know this, I don't know. Okay, you're not being spiritual, you're escaping the world. Spirituality is living through the world. How are you gonna heal the world if you won't talk about its wounds? How are you gonna talk about its wounds if you don't know its wounds? How will you know its wounds if you don't interact with it? Stop making not being a part of this world and disconnected from the world and not knowing what's going on sound like, try making it sound like it's cool or high vibe or being positive thinker. You're not being a positive thinker, you're being a coward. Stop using really powerful, important notions like actual positive thinking and actual spirituality to excuse inability. And it's okay to be unable, but you're not gonna get out of it as long as you tell yourself that you're a hero when you're not able. Okay? I am your savior. I am your hero. I don't want to know what you're going through. I don't want to know about your pain. I don't even want to look at you. It brings down my frequency. But I am your spiritual guru. Let me guide you through the pains and issues and challenges of the world while I am clueless to all of them. Ha! Wow, I really trust your leadership because you sound like you really know what you're talking about. Okay. Yeah, so Jupiter in Aries is like, get dirty. Put your hands in the dirt. No, I don't mean constantly being in very difficult scenarios or eating up the news or, constantly seeking the negative. No, it's bringing your light into the darkness. What good is light if it's not going into the darkness to shed light on it? So light is hanging out with light. That's how darkness grows. When light doesn't go into the darkness and shines it, it grows. And then guess what happens? Light becomes smaller. So the more you deny yourself of the world and the truths of the world, good and bad, there's also good news in the world that you can balance out the negative with. You can also be conscientious to good stuff that are happening and inspiring technologies that are happening and really great advancements in humanity. Like, it includes all of those things, not just the bad stuff. Okay? Sorry, one second. When you do that, you are able to live life, you're able to grow spiritually, and you are able to lead spiritually. And that's what Jupiter and Aries want you to do. Go and put your hands in the dirt and in the grass. Okay? The good thing about putting your hands in the dirt right now is there's soap. You can clean your hands afterward. And there's also a lot of nutrition in the mud. So much nutrition in the mud. It's really good for your skin. Okay? It's almost like, think of a system. Think of a body that does not interact with the bacterial world at all, that is constantly always cleaning itself, mask, doesn't interact with bacteria and viruses. It does not develop, practices its muscle to deal with those, right? First of all, you're more than 50% bacteria, like 50%, 52% of the human body, something like that, is bacteria and virus. More than half of you is not you. It's made of tiny little creatures, okay, that need to interact with other tiny little creatures in order to stay vital and alive and working and operative. If you don't go out and breathe a little bit of dust, but of course the fresh air as well, and you don't interact with the world, with the elements, then you become numb. Your body becomes unable. It becomes crippled. Same with your spirit and your spiritual work and your spirituality. You gotta interact with the world. Otherwise, you become numb while thinking that you're happy. You're just oblivious. Okay, and then something will happen. It will come around. You can only escape so much the world, but if light doesn't fight evil, evil expands, and then it doesn't matter what mountain you move into, it will catch you there. A tyrannical government will find its way to take over your mountain if you don't help your fellow humans in the big cities or wherever to combat tyranny by voting, by speaking up, by protesting, by sharing information, by standing against it and showing resistance in any way, shape, or form that you can. Every person does what they can the way they can. You have your way. Find your way, but do it nonetheless, because eventually it will spread and it will come to you. And then there will be no one left to speak for you, you spiritual sweetheart. Okay? So that's what Jupiter in Aries is saying for the collective. You've been in the cosmos in Pisces for a while. We've given you some escape to come and visit space and the stars and the aliens. Cool. Back to Earth, friend, to do the work. Here, you've learned all that. Go do the work. Okay, guys, that is it. Now, let's see if there's anything interesting in the chat. There hasn't been a single super chat in more than an hour of me putting my guts here for y'all, and that I have nothing to say. Thank you. No, thank you. Okay. Okay. I went all the way up, and I'm now scrolling down the chat. Okay, so Jamie Scott writes, no doubt my folks were on a no-carb diet for a decade or so, and they're experiencing cognitive decline. That looks, that took a long time to type, okay. So thank you for that confirmation. Wow, hello. Sorry, just scrolling to see if anyone wrote something that I can make that I can answer to. Sorry, just give me a second. Oh, by the way, for those of you who sorry for the rant that I gave earlier, for those of you who want to know what your crush feels about you or thinks about you or what they're going through, I started this new series where I do cross-watcher series. So watch whatever sign they are, go watch it. Like it's cross-watchers for whatever. This morning I did cross-watchers for Virgo. Yesterday I did cross-watchers for Leo, and I'm going to continue tomorrow morning. I'm going to do cross-watcher for Libra and so on. So that is an environment to see what your crush feels, thinks, and yeah. Okay. I thought I'll be able to do the scrolling thing, but it's technically hard for me to do, and it's going to just take time and you'll be bored. So never mind. Thank you, Missy, for joining and supporting. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate you guys. Okay. Bye.